Hey there, welcome. I received this Galen Leather Notebook about 2 days ago. This is not an unboxing because I could not wait to open it. I've been wanting to try one of their notebooks for a while. But this is how it comes. It was very well packaged. It was actually inside another box and then like a bag. It was very well protected. As you can see there, the box is not damaged at all. It's in perfect condition. So I wanted to share a quick review of this notebook. I'm calling this video a quick review because I think that a full in-depth review comes after you've been using the notebook for a while to see how it performs with daily use. But in case you've been wondering about the brand and maybe you've been wanting to get one of their notebooks, this video may be useful for you. This is a basic size. It is a leather notebook. The cover is leather. And they have them in 3 sizes, A5, A6, and B6. And they have 3 presentations. So there's this one with the green leather, which I think is beautiful. It's like a very dark green. There's one like a camel tone leather, and there's another one which is not leather and it has kind of like a black cover. There are 400 pages of 52 GSM Tomo River paper, which is like Christmas for me. Love that. And this brand is from Turkey. When you get your notebook, you get inside the box, here it says, the Galen Leather brand of stationery is celebrated for quality and ingenuity. Established to supply all nations, and then the year when the brand was founded. With each notebook you get these grids to work with because they all have blank paper. They don't have grid or lined. They give you the option to work with whatever fits your style best. So they have these guides or grids. And you have these, I don't know if this is kind of like scrap leather, but this is for blotting. If you have used Tomo River paper before, you may know that even though this kind of paper is great to work with, it is not the best for fountain pen only because it takes a while to dry. I always appreciate when notebooks come with some kind of blotting paper like Nanami Cafe. Even if you're not working with Tomo River paper, fountain pens can be messy, and some gel pens also, so it is always nice to have something like this that fits the size of your notebook. So right from the start, this is definitely something I appreciate. Okay, let's look at the notebook. It is one piece of leather that goes around, as you can see. This is a stitched notebook, so it opens flat wherever you open it, which is fantastic. I mentioned this a lot, but a big deal breaker for me when it comes to notebooks is when they don't open flat. And you can see, let me see, there it is. There you can see the signatures stitched together. And the whole thing is glued to this leather cover. Actually, you can see the glue when you, like here, between some signatures. So signatures are the little like booklets that you get when you fold together several pages. So they gather several of these and then they stitch them together, and the whole thing is bound in a notebook. In this case, it was glued to the leather cover. So the only part that is glued to the leather is the spine. because the front and back, as you can see, it has this black cardstock, and the first page is only partially glued. So I hope this is very well glued so it doesn't fall apart. It doesn't bother me the fact that I can see the glue between some signatures, like here. As long as the notebook doesn't fall apart, this is not an issue for me. But some other notebooks, what they do, I think, is they have like a piece of fabric holding the whole notebook together, and then they add the cover. In this case, they just glued the whole thing to this piece of leather. And like I mentioned, it doesn't bother me as long as it doesn't fall apart. And well, I have purchased other Galen Leather products. I have this wallet insert for a traveler's notebook. I also bought an A6 cover. They are both well made. They have handle used very well. So I'm hoping this the binding won't be an issue, because so far what I've bought from Galen Leather has not given me issues. Also, the leather is already showing some character. There's this little marking here, and I think this is what they call over here, and I think this leather is called Crazy Horse. It is very smooth and soft. I thought it was going to be more velvety, but not. Well, it doesn't have the same texture as their Crazy Horse wallet. This has kind of like a, what do you call it? It has more texture to it, almost, yeah, it's very soft. This one is more on the smooth side. Actually, I think you can see the sheen in camera there. So this looks like a kind of cover that would develop a lot of character and should handle rough use very well. Some information about the brand. Galen Leather is a family company. They are based in Turkey, and according to their website, it was founded in 2012 as a two-person team. The name Galen is the name of their favorite precious stone, and also the more commonly referred name for the famous philosopher Claudius Galenus, who was born in Pergamon, present-day Bergama, Turkey, and apparently that city is famous for their leather. I was not aware of that, but it's good to know. If you're familiar with Tomo River paper, I mean, I love it. I love this very crinkly, almost like Bible paper. I love that. Some people hate it. I actually love it. It is 400 pages, and this is not a thick notebook. I think this is slightly over 1 centimeter thick, and it's super light. And for 400 pages, I think this is awesome. I love this. Like I mentioned, I did open it as soon as I got it, and I played around with some layouts because I wanted to see if this could work as my bullet journal. So I tried out the guidelines they have to see how hard or how easy it would be to do my monthlies, and it was not hard at all. I mean, of course, it wasn't as easy as working with a notebook that already has some kind of grid to work with. But considering that this is a white page, and without this I would have to measure and probably the lines will be all crooked. I mean, this does help a lot, and it doesn't look bad at all. So I'm actually considering using this notebook as my bullet journal for 2022. And yeah, well, there's a lot of ghosting, so I will finish this spread with the pens I usually use to see how bad the ghosting is. I mean, I've worked with Hobonichi planners for the past 3 years, and the ghosting has never bothered me. But I do use the Hobonichi ballpoint pen, which I think is a Pilot brand pen, and that one doesn't ghost as much as a fountain pen. With my Leuchtturm bullet journal, I'm used to fountain pens, so right from the start, I don't know if I will be able to use my fountain pens as often as I'm used to using them in my Leuchtturm notebooks. I mean, you can pretty much see everything. You can see the numbers underneath. So if ghosting is an issue, this may not be, well, not so much the notebook, the paper for you, Tomo River paper, or at least look for a Tomo River paper notebook with more weight so it doesn't ghost as much, because this is pencil and the pencil is ghosting. Like, I can perfectly see all the numbers. And if I do a pen test in the back, so these are some of my fountain pens. A Tombow marker, and the fine liner. Well, what is this? Well, this is not from the pens, these little stains. I don't know what this is. But let's look at the ghosting. There is no bleed through, but the ghosting is heavy. For some people, something like this would make this side of the page unusable because the ghosting is very noticeable. It's not discreet at all. And yeah, that's something to consider, but that's more an issue that has to do with the Tomo River paper, 52 GSM, than the notebook. So if you haven't worked with Tomo River paper, keep that in mind. If you're familiar with Tomo River paper and you don't mind the ghosting, go for it. So the measurements of this notebook is almost 12 centimeters by 18 centimeters. Compared to a B6 Jibun Techo, it is about a centimeter wider, but it is also shorter. Okay, so, oh, okay, no, the height is the same. Without the plastic cover, the height is exactly the same. In width of maybe 2 centimeters or 1.5. I don't have a ruler at hand. And compared to a B6 Leuchtturm, there is a difference in height. I mean, almost the size of my finger. I guess this is a little less than 1 centimeter. And width, the difference is barely noticeable, just a little bit. I think when it comes to B6 size notebooks, the size is like, there's no standard size the way it's usually the case with A5 notebooks. That's something I've heard also from other YouTubers who like to work with B6 size. I don't have a B6 Stalogy to compare, but yeah, at least I hope this gives you an idea of where it stands. So some pros about this notebook. Personally, the first thing I love, of course, is that it has 400 pages of Tomo River paper. I actually love that kind of paper. Even with the ghosting, I love this kind of paper. And I think it is a huge pro that it comes with blotting paper and grids to work with. especially because I don't mind working with blank paper, but I mean, it can be troublesome if you want to use blank pages for a bullet journal, because you know there's the monthlies, and you know grids are always useful for a bullet journal. The fact that it comes inside its own beautiful box where you can store it once you finish your journal is also something that sets this notebook apart from other brands. Overall, you can tell they put a lot of care and thought to the presentation and quality of their products. If you're familiar with Galen Leather, they usually send all their products with a little satchel bag with some goodies from Turkey. At least I've received the same things with my other 2 orders. So they come with this refreshing towel, some Earl Grey tea, Turkish coffee, and their traditional evil eye charm. If you in my other reviews for the wallet insert and the A6 cover, I go into detail about the story of the brand and what the evil eye means. And finally, I like very much the leather cover, and I love the feel of this cover. It feels very sturdy and robust, and I'm excited to start working with this notebook. I like how slim it is with 400 pages and how light it is. Some cons about this notebook: it would be nice if they had grid notebooks or at least number pages. That would save me the time to do them myself, but it's not the end of the world that it comes like this. But if you're planning to use this notebook as a bullet journal, that may be an issue for you. And I think that's it for the cons. I think that's my only issue with this notebook. The opening between the signatures where you see the glue, like I mentioned, it doesn't bother me. That would depend on how the notebook performs with daily use. I doubt that it would fall apart. It looks very secure, securely glued. So yeah, I love it. I love how bendy it is, how flexible. I love everything about it. I think it's a very elegant and, I don't know, classy notebook with a lot of character. I love the feel of it. And I have mentioned this in other videos. I am trying different sizes and different notebooks to see which ones I will be using as my bullet journals for 2022. I will do a video with my picks for 2022. One thing is certain, I do want to continue with my bullet journals. I have been very happy with my system so far. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below, and I will do my best to get back to you, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye-bye.